he raised his glass and proclaimed,
All this is because of my hard work and talent. I am the master of my destiny.
The whisperer grinned triumphantly from the shadows, clapping softly. Once upon a time, a young man named Davelin lived in the bustling village of Hopeville. Davelin was a dreamer who wanted more, a farmer's son who believed God had a great plan for his life. But little did he know that every step of his journey to success would be met by the whisperer, an unseen tempter lurking in the shadows, planting seeds of doubt and pride. Davelin dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur, turning his family's small farm into a thriving agricultural empire. Excited, he began his preparations, reading, learning, and trusting God to guide him. But here came the voice of the whisperer.
Davelin, are you cut out for this? You don't have enough experience. What if you fail? Think of how others will laugh.
At first, Davelin shrugged it off, but the more he tried, the louder the doubts grew. Worry gnawed at him at night, fear froze him in place, and excuses rolled off his tongue like water.
I'll start next year.
He told himself.
Maybe when I have more confidence.
For days, he did nothing but sit paralyzed on his farm fence, gazing at the horizon. One night as he lay in bed, he opened his Bible and stumbled upon Philippians 4:6.
Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God.
A spark of courage lit up his heart.
Enough.
He cried.
I trust God more than I trust my fear.
The next morning he began preparing, casting worry aside. The whisperer slinked back into the shadows. Years passed, and Dave's hard work began to pay off. His farm grew beyond recognition. Endless rows of crops, golden barns, and workers bustling everywhere. People from neighboring villages admired him. But now the whisperer returned, wearing a different disguise. He said,
Look at all you've done, Dave, this success. It's all because of your hard work and genius. Why waste time praying when you're the one making it happen?
Davelin was so busy expanding his business that he missed morning prayers. Sundays were for checking accounts, not worship. He barely opened his Bible anymore. Slowly, neglect crept into his life, replacing the trust he once had in God. Then the harvest failed. A storm wrecked half the crops. Workers left for better opportunities. Dave sat in his office one evening, overwhelmed. He hadn't prayed for months. The whisperer chuckled softly in the corner. In despair, Dave found his Bible under a pile of papers and read Proverbs 3:5-6.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight.
Davelin fell to his knees, praying.
God, forgive me. I cannot do this alone.
Peace washed over him. The storm passed, and the next season brought a greater harvest than before. Dave's business became the largest in the land. Crowds cheered his name wherever he went. One day he threw a massive feast in his honor. Standing on a grand stage, he raised his glass and proclaimed,
All this is because of my hard work and talent. I am the master of my destiny.
The whisperer grinned triumphantly from the shadows, clapping softly. Suddenly, Davelin's old friend, an elder from the village, approached him and said,
Dave, remember who brought you here?
The words pierced his heart like an arrow. That night, Davelin couldn't sleep. He remembered his humble beginnings, the days he trusted God completely, and the times God had delivered him. He read Deuteronomy 8:18.
But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth.
The next morning, Davelin stood before his workers and said,
Forgive me. I forgot that everything I have comes from God. From now on, let all my success glorify him.
The whisperer screamed in frustration and vanished. Davelin's story reminds us that success is a journey filled with traps. At the preparatory stage, the devil fights with worry and fear to keep us from starting. On the road to success, he uses neglect of God to make us rely on ourselves. At the peak, he tempts us with self-glorification. But Davelin learned the truth. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 2:6. By trusting God at every stage, he overcame the traps and found not only success, but also purpose and peace.